Well, hello everyone. How is everybody out there in YouTube land? Welcome to Momma Jo's Kitchen. And welcome to all my regular viewers who come back and visit with us. Most of you know that I cook meals for my husband, Michael, usually when he gets off of work. And guess what? Today is Friday, and he's actually off today. And he went fishing this morning. And now he's home and he's hungry. So I'm cooking him up something. I guess you could call it a meal. It'd be a meal for him. Some people would call this an appetizer or a snack. But what I'm making today is we're going to make nacho meat with and nacho cheese to go over in the fixings. Michael's a pretty plain guy though when it comes to nachos, because there's so much you can do with nachos. There's many things that you can add to your nachos, of course. And I kind of talked him into a can of Rotel. You know, I want something a little bit, healthy, good for him. He loves jalapenos. So I've got 3 of them here chopped up and ready to go. He will eat some green onions. So, I bought one of those packages that's in the grocery store that's already prepared, chopped. I'm going to use some of that. And yeah, we're just, I'm doing up the meat right now. I'm browning the meat. And after I get the meat browned, I will get it drained and we will finish up with, we'll get the cheese sauce started and everything too. So I got a lot of spices, and that's optional. If you don't have all them spices, you don't have to run out and grab all those spices. But if you have them on the hand, you might as well, start using some of them spices up. And what I'm going to use as a thickener for my cheese today, because I thought about making a roux. I'm winging this. Sometimes I do that with a lot of my recipes, like my meatloaf and different things. I vary it and change it up. So instead of doing like a roux to thicken the cheese sauce, I'm going to go to the cornstarch method. So let me chop up the meat here a little bit more. Get it nice and brown and crumbled. And then I'm going to pour all that grease off. And we will start adding some things to this. And I'll get another pan that I'm going to start making the cheese sauce in. I'm going to do the nacho meat first. And then I'm going to, after we get everything added to it, I'm going to put, let it simmer. And then we'll start on the cheese sauce, because that won't take long at all. And then as long as you have all your toppings, on hand and done up, this is going to come together really quick and easy. I know Michael's been in there waiting a little bit, but I had a lot of setup and clean up and, prep to do. But he'll be happy to give you all a taste test. I like this little meat chopper, but I hate it when the meat gets stuck in between, so I always take my little spatula. I love this little spatula. I got this at the Dollar Tree. I use it all the time, folks. Alright, let me get that. It'll be just a second for you all. I'm just going to get this browned up and drained, and I'll bring you right back. Alright, folks. It's that quick. It only seemed like about a minute. And I forgot to mention, I'm using about 1.5. It's a little bit over that. Pounds of ground chuck. That is our preference to use. You could use ground beef. I just feel like ground chuck is just a little better tasting. You do pay a little bit more for it, but I think it's worth paying that little extra. Here is the grease that I poured off, and what I do, a little tip, is I let it cool off, and then I set it in the refrigerator, and it solidifies, and then I take that outside at night, and I will dump it out in the yard. And any given night, I'll look out there, there'll either be a possum or a skunk or even sometimes a raccoon out there. So this is still going, the stove, and it's all been browned up. So I'm going to get some stuff added to this. This is 1 cup of broth, and I'll tell you, I had to make my broth because I thought for sure I had some up in the cabinet, and I did not. So what I did is I took Better Than Bouillon beef base. I took 1 teaspoon and I mixed it in 1 cup of hot water. Okay, so let me get, now we're going to get some stuff added to this. Now it's time for us to season our meat. Okay. Alright, I've got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'm using it, folks. Use what you have on hand. I need to get me some onion powder. I'm probably going to have about a tablespoon and a half here. I don't know, I might use it all. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and use it all, get rid of it. I need to get to the store and get some more. Of course, you got to have some garlic. And you notice I didn't saute this time. I'm just going to use some of my jar garlic here. Okay. That's a teaspoon. I'll probably do about 2 teaspoons. Do the lid. Here's the lid. Well, let me get that stirred in there. Also, I don't want it boiling away. I'm going to turn it down on low because basically what I want to do now is let it simmer. Okay, I'm drying that teaspoon off real quick, so, because I got some more. I just happened to buy this at my Dollar Tree. This is called Tone's Taco Night. It actually has yellow corn flour, salt, paprika, spices, sugar, dried chili pepper, yeast extract. I think that would be good in here. That's probably a teaspoon. I'll probably go in about 2 teaspoons of that. I have some of this Goya adobo seasoning. And let's see here. Garlic, black pepper, oregano, turmeric. Yep. I have some oregano I'm going to put in here too. Well, maybe if I can get the lid off. There we go. Just going to go in with about a teaspoon because I'm not sure, you know, how much they have of each thing. And since it already has salt, I have to be careful it's not going to get me too salty. Okay, here's some oregano. I'm just going to do a teaspoon. That's not a lot of meat actually there. Oh, chili powder. I'll probably go in with about 2 teaspoons of that. You know, these are estimates. You know, if you don't like something, don't put it in. But I kind of feel like you need a little chili powder, you know, to give it a little kick and, you know, give it that seasoned nacho taste. I know. Now, Michael, you can never go too hot for him. I'm only going to do about, if I had to guess this is a teaspoon, I would say that's about 1/4 of a teaspoon. It won't be too hot for him, but that is cayenne pepper. And then we got some Lowry's seasoned salt, which probably has a little bit of paprika and everything in there. Went in with a teaspoon of that. Hopefully that won't be too salty. We shall see. Now, almost done here with the meat. Okay, I feel like it's on the dry side. So I might be adding, you know, I'm was going to add this actually to my cheese sauce, but I think I'm going to add it here to give my meat a little bit of moisture. So that's optional if you're using the tomatoes. Okay, I do have something else I want to add to this. A little bit of cornmeal, folks. That cornmeal just brings out the flavor and everything in the nacho meat. Let me see. I think I was going to use a tablespoon or two. Probably 2 tablespoons. Okay. But I tell you what, I feel like I need a little bit more liquid. So what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to add any more, I'm only going to do maybe a half of a cup. I think I got a little bit too much here. Let me get this all stirred in here. I don't want to make soup, but I don't want it to be dry at the same time. That kind of acts as a thickener, folks, the cornmeal. Let me see how much water I have here. I think I got a little bit over. You pour some in my flour over here, my plant. Okay, I got about a half of a cup now. I want to show you my window sometime. I got so much basil, it's growing out of my ears, seriously. Okay, I think half a cup is perfect right there. Now, I'm just going to let this kind of simmer and slow cook, and we're going to get started on the cheese sauce. I think I'll turn the heat up just a little bit to get it simmering, and then I'll turn it back down. And this would be a good time to taste it to see if it needs anything. To see if it's, you know, salty enough. I think it's going to have enough salt. We're fine there. Michael may want me, I can taste the heat already from the cayenne, that little bit of cayenne that I put in there. All right, so then you're going to need a nice, I would recommend a heavy bottom pan if you have it. This just happens to be a bottom of my double boiler. And a whisk, it doesn't have to be this whisk. I just happen to have this whisk, and it's great for mixing here in the bottom. And I'm going to try this burner back here because if you all seen here recently, I've been having trouble with this burner. Alrighty. Oh, I'm going to take a bowl. Let me show you what cheese I'm using. This is 4 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese. Okay, that's going in this bowl. Because what we're going to do is we're going to mix the cornstarch directly in here on top of this. So this is probably a tablespoon of cornstarch. And I'm just going to take my hand and just kind of give it a toss. You know, kind of like if you were taking flour and coating, you know, your cheese. That's what we're doing here with the cornstarch. Okay. Then I have about 4 ounces of that Sargento 100% American cheese. And I just stacked the slices. I weighed it out to get 4 ounces. And then I just cut them into, like, looks like Velveeta cubes. And I'm just going to toss a little bit of cornstarch, same amount on top of there. That might be, hopefully that won't be too much. Okay. We're blowing away over here. Okay, let me use this to give everything a nice little coating. Folks, the milk of my choice I'm using is evaporated milk. I just find that it's easier to work with. So let me get my pan back here. We can go ahead and get our milk poured in here. This is boiling, so I'm going to turn that down on low. Okay, let me see here. Like I said, with these burners, I got to really watch. We don't want to, you got to keep an eye on the milk as it starts to heat up. I'm sorry, Bitsy. My little kitty's right there. You all probably can't see him, but he's like right there. They always got to be around my feet all the time. Michael. Yeah. I want Michael to come out here and see what this Nacho meat needs, because he's the one that's eating this food. If he thinks it needs a little sweetness, maybe he wants a little brown sugar to it. Maybe I need to add something umami like Worcestershire sauce or a little soy sauce. Come around and get a spoon, honey. Watch Bootsy. Say hi to everybody.
Hola.
Pick up your feet. Stop shuffling your feet. He shuffles his feet like an old man.
Because I am an old man.
Well, honey, I just wanted you to taste the sauce, not eat all the food. What's it need? I feel like it needs something.
Need some chips under it and cheese on it.
Tell them that.
Need some chips under it and cheese on it.
Are you sure it didn't need anything?
Oh, that's good.
Do you need does it need to be more tomatoey? Does it need to be a little sweet side?
No, it's perfect.
So, he's not hard to please, folks.
Perfect amount of zest.
He likes it just the way it is.
Yep.
I'm not eating it, so like I said, I cook for him, and if he likes it, then I'm happy then. Okay, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to switch burners, because it's easier for me to work and easier for you all to see. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch. There we go. And let me, because all I have to do is keep this warm now, folks. Wait a minute, let's see if that's on. I don't know what happened there. That burner back here is not turning on. I hope all my burners are working. There we go. Alright, I don't trust that burner either. I tell you, maybe one day I'll get a new stove, folks. Okay, so we're trying to bring our milk up to temperature. Okay. Well, I got my toppings here. I get some of this stuff out of the way because all it does is distract me. Now I'm trying to think here if I'm forgetting something. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, folks. I thought I was forgetting something. I'm sure I am. Now, season up your milk if you want to add some things to it. I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of seasoned salt. You could add paprika. I think maybe I'll put a little bit of black pepper in here. And I'm going to start putting this cheese in and start whisking it at the same time. Anytime I mess with black pepper, now I feel like I'm going to sneeze, folks. Excuse me. I gotta sneeze again. Phew. Okay, as soon as this cheese gets all melted and thickened up. Now, some people actually add a little bit of pickled jalapenos, just the juice. I don't have any of that. I thought about maybe adding a little bit of, I'm trying to think what it's called, just a little bit of a pickle juice, just to, you know, to give it that little bit of a tang to it. All right, our cheese is melting. And we want to make sure it's thickened enough. My cheese is not all melted yet. If it needs to be a little bit thicker, then what I can do is either you could add more cheese, which I have plenty of cheese, or you could, you know, make a little bit more of a thickener. And usually one of the things you can do is check with a spoon. They say when it coats the back of your spoon, you know that it's ready. My cheese is still not completely melted. I'm going to make Michael come back out here again. Michael, come see if you want anything added to this. Okay, we want to be able to spoon this over. I'm going to turn it down on the lowest setting, folks. I think the sauce is ready. But I want to see if he wants any salt, if he wants any pepper. I think the sauce is ready. But I want to know if it needs anything. Careful.
It's hot.
Yep. You want it to be pourable, folks. What's it need?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay, honey. I'm gonna get him his nachos done up real quick. I'm gonna show you all. I mean, it's
good.
You don't want it too thick. You want to be able to pour it, okay? All right, let me get him his nachos done up, how he likes it, and then I'll get a picture of it, and we'll go over there to the table, and he's going to give you a quick taste test, so hang in there, folks.
Hello YouTube, welcome to Momma Jo's Kitchen. Today we got a good one. We have homemade nacho meat with homemade nacho cheese with chips, sour cream, jalapenos, and some green onions. We're going to give these bad boys right here because this one looks pretty good.
Rotel.
Rotel is in the meat, so here we go. Absolutely delicious. Love it. The jalapenos are great. You taste a little bit of smoky flavor. The overall flavor of this, the cheese, the sauce, everything. Delicious. You need a snack for game time, something like that. Absolutely go with this. This is awesome. Way better than like what you can get like restaurant style because it's loaded. And Momma Jo definitely did it up right. Check that out. As Momma Jo said, I was out fishing this morning. You want to check out my catches, you can go to Fish Brain. Michael Tucker. Check him out. 2 thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe. Those jalapenos actually got a little bit more heat than I expected. 2 thumbs up, like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out the video where Momma Jo makes this. Check out all Momma Jo's videos. Come back and get you some more goodness. Make this for game time. You'll love it.